Hey guys, welcome back to the Watches and Giggles YouTube channel. I'm Chris from Chicago. First off, as always, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. And if you're returning, guys, thank you so much for coming back. I do appreciate it. Guys, in today's video, we're going to be doing a comparison between the Rolex Sea Dweller SD43 and the Omega Seamaster 300, my newest acquisition. I just did a video on it the other day. I acquired it less than a week ago, but it is growing on me famously. And yes, I am in the honeymoon stage with it. And I do love the watch, spoiler alert. But we're going to compare the two. And I guess the main point of this video is value proposition. Which watch gives you the best value or best bang for buck? So we're going to try to figure that out on what you should spend your hard-earned money on. But before we do, guys, we'll see what I'm wearing. And today I have on the Tudor GMT Black Bay. And I love this watch. It is a great tool watch. The only thing I'll say is if you have a slender wrist, I have over a 7.5-inch wrist, but this baby does sit a little high. It is a chunky monkey. But besides that, I have no gripes. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus here. There we go. The date wheel issue, non-existent so far, but this is a 2020 model. But all right, guys, let's get into it. And we're going to address the monkey in the room, the elephant in the room, whatever we want to call it, and that's availability. Availability. Which one can you actually buy? Well, you can buy both, the Rolex and the Omega, but the Omega, you can actually go into an AD. They have them to try on. You can try on multiple variations, the black, the gray, the blue, the white, all of them. Whereas when you go to a Rolex AD, they're not going to have anything really in stock for you to try on. And also, you are going to get a percentage off from an authorized dealer. That is correct. Whereas a Rolex, you will not. So availability, Omega absolutely wins without a doubt. Rolex is getting harder and harder to find as they are trying to reach to AP and Patek levels of you just can't get the watch or afford the watch. So that kind of sucks, but that looks like the way the market is going. So we'll also get into the movements. A lot of you don't care about the movements, but the new Seamaster has a new 8800 movement. And it is an in-house movement where before it was the 41 millimeter ceramic non-wave dial was ETA-based enhanced, and it's got 55 hours of power reserve, and it is very accurate. It is 0 to +5 a day, where the Rolex, you guys already know by now, 70 hours of power reserve. It's +2, -2 a day, also very accurate. So I won't spend too much time on movements. Movements are kind of a wash. Both great movements, get a little more power reserve with this. Most people don't even really care about that. But that's more of a tie, I would say. You could say maybe the Rolex wins because of the 70-hour power reserve, but I think they're both great movements and you can't go wrong with either. So we won't get into too much of that. So pick your pill or pick your poison with that. But we're also going to talk about value. So we talked about that a little already, but we'll go over it again. You're going to be paying most likely a premium for this on the gray market if you can't find it. And this one, you're going to get a percentage off. So let's say a couple grand premium for this one, so well over 13,000. And this one you're going to get for at least 15 to 20% off. So, 13 to 14,000 for this guy, American dollars, and about 4,000 for this guy. So is it worth triple? That's the question I'll let you guys try to answer. But in my book, no. The Rolex is awesome. The quality is awesome. But so is the Omega. And is this worth 3 times this? I would say no in my book. So yeah, Omega wins for value proposition and actually be able to buy the watch. Now, we're going to go with style. We'll start with the Rolex first. All right. Style, this is a classic. Going with the times, will probably never go out of style. Rolex is very careful, and they don't really make too many crazy changes. I mean, it's basically the same watch for 50 years, and they enhance it slightly and make it a little better. It's been said over many YouTube channels, they move at a glacier speed, which I think is funny, but also accurate. and this will stand the test of time and never go out of style. So the Rolex style is just classic and beautiful. Now the Omega, this is more of a fun watch, the blue one especially. The black one probably has a little more timeless classic, but the blue one, who knows? It is the James Bond blue, or at least supposed to be, and I think this blue is just fantastic. With that said, it is a little more cartoonish, I guess is a good way. The dial and how they protrude, you know, they're plopped on there a little thick, but the indices or the hour markers, whatever you want to call them. But I don't know if this will actually stand the test of time. I think it will, but they have changed the Seamaster quite a bit over the years. But I absolutely love it, and I think it's a fun watch. Great travel watch, great beach watch, and the light play on this is just better in my opinion. But with that said, style goes to Rolex because you don't have to worry about it. It's classic and will never go out of style. Bezel Action. This one is a little closer than I thought it would be, but we'll do the Rolex first. The Rolex is smooth butter, very solid feeling, very tight, very strong. You can feel every click, and it's just spectacular to use. You get the butterflies in your stomach every time you move it, especially if you're a fidget spinner or you get fidgety. It's very enjoyable. Now, the Omega, this one is light years above the 41 millimeter, and I had the 41 millimeter. I had both. So you can hear that. It's a little more hollow. It's not as solid, not as strong, but every click you can feel. It's very buttery. It's just not as good as the Rolex, but it is massively improved from the 41 millimeter one that I had, the non-wave dial. That one felt cheap and not like a luxury product. The Omega does now. This bezel action is wonderful. It's just not as good, if I'm being honest. So Rolex wins there without a doubt. Now steel, the steel that each watch uses. So this is the big point of contention. The 904L steel that Rolex uses, if I'll just put them next to each other right here, you can see the glow off the 904L, whereas the Omega uses a 316. The Rolex feels more special. The glow off it, it just feels like it was touched by the heavens or something, whereas the 316 steel, you know, that's the same as on the Tudor, and it's a lovely glow and a lovely steel. It just doesn't have the same luster and the same light play as the Rolex with the 904L. So in that case, the Rolex definitely wins, which is, I think, why we clamor after the Rolexes and the regular steel versions, is because of that 904L steel and that glow. It's almost like a precious metal to us. So I understand. Now, clasp, we'll go with the Omega. First, very nice clasp, very much improved from the 41 millimeter version that this follows. Has two twin locks here that you push down. Very easy to use. It's just a fold over clasp though. Very secure, very nice. Then if we flip it over, it does have, let's see if I can get this right. Sorry about that. There we go. The new push button clasp, which is very, very easy to use. Very nice indeed. Just a wonderful upgrade from the older one, and I absolutely love it. I like to wear my watches a little tighter, so this gives me the little bit of breath when I need it to play with that clasp. Now the Rolex, well, this clasp is probably second to none. It's wonderfully made. The oyster clamshell clasp, beautifully finished. It's just spectacular, very secure. You can't just pull it off either. You have to use this little lever to rip it up, push it down, and then it has a fold over clasp as well for extra safety, and it's second to none. We'll take a look also at the glide lock. Very easy to use. I mean, it's just so easy to use. It's spectacular, and honestly, it's second to none. So the clasp and adjustability, Rolex wins, not by a landslide, but it's just, I mean, it's awesome. It's second to none in my book. So hard to beat Rolex in that aspect. Now we'll go, guys, with the case back. And this is where Omega comes out to shine with the beautiful, beautiful case back here. And if I can get it on the right side, there we go. We can see the heartbeat there. Oh my gosh. And then the writing on the case back, there we go. I mean, it's just beautiful to look at. And I catch myself, even having just bought this watch, taking the watch off to admire that beautiful sapphire case back, all the jewels in them. It's just nice to admire the movement. And it's just so nice. I mean, Omega does a wonderful job. This is the first time they put sapphire case back, clear case back, so you can enjoy that movement on a Seamaster. The previous model did not have that. I think you guys already know, but we're going to see it anyway. The Rolex with the case back. This one, unlike most, has a little more to look at as the Sea Dweller 50th anniversary. Whoop. Put that back up. There we go. Has some nice little details in writing. You don't get that on a lot of Rolex. Rolex does not have, they do not display their movements. It is a solid case back on all of them. This one has a little bit of writing, which makes it a little extra special. The Milgauss has it, a few others, but not many have it. So, you know, the Omega is going to win there by a landslide. It's so nice to look at the movement of your watch, what you're spending the money on. It's just wonderful. And now we'll go to the main, one of the main things that, you know, this video was supposed to be about, and that's value retention and what you should spend your money on, your hard-earned money on. Well, with the Omega, you do have to buy it carefully. If you buy it brand new, and you know, you don't get any money off the top, you could get hurt down the road. Who knows what this watch will do? So definitely try to get, you know, a percentage chopped off the top, take a little bit of that money off, and it's a very easy watch to get into and get out of. But who knows value retention, what's going to happen with this watch. I actually really like it and don't plan on selling it, but you never know as us watch aficionados and watch nerds what we might do. But value retention is not spectacular. Now with the Rolex, which is why the market is as crazy as it is, the value retention is off the charts. If you can buy this for retail, you will make money. Now, granted, not as much as some other watches that are out and about right now of Rolex, but you will make money off this watch if you buy it brand new and sell it. And over time, Rolex has proved that they will only go up in value. So, what do you guys think? Does the SD43 win? Does the Seamaster 300 win? Which is the better watch? Which would you spend your money on if you could? It's tough for me. It really is. This is a harder video than I thought. Again, the Rolex is going to be triple what the Seamaster is. Yes, the direct comparison would be the Submariner, but like a bonehead, I sold mine. But is the Rolex 3 times better than the Omega? I think that's what we have to ask ourselves. Again, if a Rolex will only do for you and nothing else, then that's what you have to have and that's what you have to get. But if you're not stuck on the brand, I mean, I'm loving every minute of ownership with the Seamaster, and I think it's a fantastic value and a fantastic watch. The fit and finishing, to me, in my opinion, is just as good as Rolex. So aesthetically looking, and to be honest with you, I actually love this wave dial. Much nicer to look at with light play in the sun than the Rolex, which Rolex is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but the Omega light play off that dial is spectacular. So what's it going to be, guys? Let me know in the comments. I mean, for me personally, if I had to sell one, it would be the Omega. I would definitely keep the Rolex, but that's just my opinion. So for me, Rolex kind of wins out. I don't know if I'm just brainwashed by the market, but overall, the steel, the glow, the timeless classic looks, I think the Rolex wins out, and then you know you won't lose money. But how far behind is the Omega really? I don't think that much. So I'll be interested to read what you guys have to say. That's going to do it for today, guys. I know a longer video than usual, but I thought it was well-deserved to give both these watches their time due. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.